Convicted killer in Washington, just hours away from death. Tonight, the last-minute decision that has saved his life for now, and the apology from a murderer sentenced to die.
I am alone responsible for ending her life. She haunts me to this day, every day.
For the second time in the past month, the Washington State Supreme Court has put an end to a countdown to death.
Late this afternoon, just hours before he was supposed to die, the court ruled 5-4 that Cal Brown's execution should be stayed because of concerns over whether lethal injection is cruel and unusual punishment. Brown raped and tortured a young woman for 2 days before killing her. Today, when pleading for his life, he apologized. KXLY4's McKay Allen in Walla Walla tonight, where everything was a go until about an hour ago.
Yet a 5-4 decision that came down from the state Supreme Court not very long ago. They have stayed the execution of Cal Brown, which means he no longer just has 6 hours to live. He should be right now about finishing his last meal in his holding cell just off the execution chamber. But now with the stay of execution from the state Supreme Court, all those cogs that had been in motion, all those wheels that had been in motion here at Walla Walla at the state penitentiary now stop. No protesters will show up. The extra security they had on hand here to take care of the protesters and to watch everything, that's not needed anymore. Cal Brown will remain on death row at this point. And the man who prosecuted Cal Brown, the man who's seen this case through, Dan Satterberg, the King County District Attorney, he's very frustrated.
But I fear that this is just a game, that a legal game played by lawyers who can try to buy more time for their client. Reserved for the worst of the worst. Cal Brown is the worst of the worst. In the 25 years I've been a prosecutor, his crime was the most brutal, the most sadistic, most calculated crime. He deserves the death penalty if we're going to have one. And there's nothing about this case that causes me to doubt whether we should have one.
At issue here is the constitutionality of lethal injection in the state of Washington. The state Supreme Court now sends that question back to the Thurston County Superior Court, where they will rule on that. Satterberg says there's nothing wrong with the way lethal injection is done in Washington. He simply says the state of Washington doesn't have the stomach to execute people very often. And he says if anyone deserves the death penalty, Cal Brown does, but he'll have to wait for his date with the executioner. Reporting, McKay Allen, KXLY4 HD News.
If you want to read the Supreme Court's entire order or sound off about whether you agree with the stay of execution, go to KXLY.com and click on our top story. We will share your sound off responses tomorrow on KXLY4 News and on our website, KXLY.com. You can also hear Cal Brown's apology from today and his plea for his life.
So 7 inmates remain on Washington's death row, although with the recent rulings by the state Supreme Court, there is a strong possibility they will never face death. 2 of them committed crimes in Spokane County. Spokane serial killer Robert Yates pleaded guilty to killing 13 women in Spokane and was sentenced to life. Then was sentenced to death for killing 2 women in Pierce County. His execution is on hold pending an appeal. Dwayne Woods is also on death row for the rape and murder of 2 women in Spokane County in 1996. He murdered Talisha Shaver and Jade Moore, beating them to death in Spokane Valley. He was scheduled to die March 20th, but was issued a stay of execution so his attorneys can prepare their appeals.